We are taught exactly how to build a seven-figure business. We're taught the funnels, the sales script, the hiring chart, the processes, the systems, but we are never actually taught how to live in that business or with that business. This is why so many women have full bank accounts and empty tanks. They are rich and tired instead of rich and rested. I have observed a very specific group of female founders, the ones who run empires, but do it a little differently. They still have time to read fiction, how to cook dinner, they sleep 8 hours every night, and they operate truly differently. They practice what I call the silent habits of success. They are not loud, they're not habits you see every day, things you might not even notice, invisible boundaries that protect their peace. And they make them where they can actually think and not just always be in go, go, go mode. Because the hustle that got you to the seven-figure business that you built is not the same hustle that's going to get you the peace and alignment that you are looking for. And there are 7 clear habits of women that have both time and money. But the problem is we focus so many times on loud success, about more calls, more posts, more videos, more noise, and it runs on cortisol. It runs on energy. It runs on a tank that is going to go empty one day or the next. And the solution is a quiet luxury in business that's not about doing more, but about doing less of what's aligned with where you truly want to go. It's about subtraction and it runs on regulation. And by the end of this video, you will know how to master these 7 habits and at least try one in your next week to get you started. So habit number 1 is the digital sunset. Successful women do not sleep with their phones on. They either put them in the kitchen, they have them on silent, and they are not looking at that as the last thing they see before they go to bed and the first thing when they wake up in the morning, because there is no way you can regulate your nervous system and your soul and your peace when you are constantly being pulled in to other people's problems. And that's what happens the moment we take that phone, look at it, and start realizing all the things that need our attention and need our energy. Number 2 is the fuel, not filler rule. Successful women do not eat lunch at their desk. They take their food, they go somewhere else, whether it's they move from their home office into their kitchen, they move from their office at work to outside at the park, but they make a designated shift in showing that this is a minute for me to stop, for me to rest, and for me to fill my body and not to continue to push through and mindlessly eat and put things into me that are not healthy. And I'm going to take a minute to tell you right here that if you will clean up your breakfast and lunch, it will totally change your headspace as you are operating throughout your day. Because when we overload with carbs and we overload with fillers in our food that's not fueling us, it starts to slow down our thought processes and we are not near as productive and near as purposeful in what we're doing. So if you are eating while you are checking emails, that is signaling to your brain and to your body scarcity and that you don't have enough time to truly nourish what needs to be nourished throughout your day. Habit number 3 is the no explanation policy. This was probably my favorite one to employ in my own life, but also the hardest. So successful women decline things without a paragraph of excuses of thanks for the invite, but I won't be able to make it. Not over explaining, I'm so sorry. And then we have to do this and this and this and this and this. No, these types of leaders, you just say no. And so it actually frees you up to not feel like you have to justify yourself. And sometimes that just doesn't fit into your schedule. And we have an exact episode on the channel that we'll be sure and link in the show notes that lets you see and takes you step by step on how to say no without feeling guilty, because gosh, that guilty comes on. But that is something as you grow yourself and grow your businesses that you can no longer carry. We can't keep that in our backpack of tools. We have to give that one away. And so this is also your quick note that if you like the video, to be sure and subscribe and follow us to help us reach more people like you who are ready to live in alignment and not burnout. And honestly, like share it with a friend too. too, because we just like building our community of like-minded women. All right, habit number 4 is JOMO. It's the opposite of FOMO, right? FOMO is the fear of missing out. JOMO is the joy of missing out. Like sometimes it just feels good to skip that networking event and take a nap. And sometimes you've just got to do that. But successful women skip what's trendy, they skip what's not necessary, and they know that their energy and their time is the most expensive asset that they have. So saying no and missing out is okay because it's not always meant for a positive return, right? Not saying don't ever do those things. We have to weigh if we're going to continue to build these successful businesses, push into the 7-figure, into the next 7-figure, into the 8-figure businesses. We have to make sure that we are protecting our time and energy at all costs. And that leads us to number 5, which has to do with money and investing in space and not stuff. And what I mean by that is a Chanel bag may be cute, but you know what's better than a Chanel bag? Having your laundry done, your house clean, and healthy food in the fridge. So pay for that delivery service. Pay for that chef that's going to do meal prep for you. Pay for somebody to come clean your house because it will give you returns over and over to spend time doing the things you truly love, especially with your family and your friends and the hobbies and activities that otherwise you might not have time for while you're also running these successful businesses. And habit number 6 is the CEO date. So a weekly block of time, a couple of hours. For me, it's on Friday afternoons. After I get done recording and we've wrapped up all of our content for the coming weeks, I take Friday afternoons to just sit and be for a little bit, right? So you can take it in as a coffee shop. You can go to a hotel for the weekend. You could sit in a different chair than you normally sit in your house or your office. But taking that time, not with the laptop, not with something to do or your planner, but maybe it's with a journal. Maybe it's with a voice note, like you like to talk things out to a voice note or to a like AI bot that'll talk back to you. But taking that time to really just think about vision and not executing, dreaming about what if, because so many times we forget that the reason we got here as 7-figure female entrepreneurs is that we once had a vision and now we've executed, okay, or in the process of executing, and you're going to have a vision again to get you to that next level as well. And so those CEO dates or the dates with yourselves are the best. That's where the magic truly happens. And number 7 is defining enough. I feel like if there was like a place to put ... like up in the cloud, like I would do that because what is enough, right? The busy, burned out entrepreneur that you might be, or business owner or CEO that is constantly doing things just to make sure you're filling up the time? Or are you someone that gets the job done and then stops? And knowing what that looks like for you and your business and your life is critical. And that is probably the most important tip out of all the 7 habits is knowing when it's enough, when you can stop, when you can walk away and move on to the next thing, to the date, to the time with friends, to the sitting still, and knowing that always adding more to your plate is not always going to be better and more fruitful for your journey. So my challenge for you is to pick one habit to start with this week. Maybe you already have some of these habits and there's just one that really stands out for you. We'd love to hear about it in the comments. And if you realize that 0 of these habits are things that you can do right now, I am launching a weekly newsletter and you can be among the first subscribers. So click the link in the show notes so that you will get more tips in your inbox that's not only for you, but you can share with your village of women as we learn and grow together.